Made it past an episode. Welcome to A Name to Remember with Kaden Nye. I'm Kaden Nye. My
Hey,
second guest is someone who I've been compared to a billion times, and his name is Kellen Franklin. Hello.
yeah. Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
And everybody knows you're one of the fan favorites on Wheel of Fortune. Again,
Thank you. Yes.
congratulations.
Thank you. It still does. I still don't. I didn't even think I was going to be a fan favorite. I didn't even know that was even a category of people.
Well, a lot of people loved you, and I watched your episode. I was a really huge fan of you. You reminded me of.
Thank you. That means the world. That means the world. And funny thing was when your show aired. Because my aunt, she lives in Kansas City, Missouri. She's actually a huge wheel watcher as well. That's, her and my grandmother, they got me hooked, when I was, when you started watching at 9 months, when I'm months old. And she called me, she said, because it was Teen Week when your show aired. And she said, Kellen, there's a boy, he kind of reminded me of you. And I was like, really? And then, we saw you and I and you know, you were honest, I think one of my favorites. I'm surprised they didn't call you for fan favorites because I actually thought you were gonna be there. I thought you were gonna be there, honestly. Like I thought you were gonna be there. I was like, oh. I mean, maybe I know they're gonna do it again. I think they are, but hopefully they'll call you maybe the second time around. But it's still shocking that I was a fan favorite. I watched Wheel for my whole life. I was a huge Wheel fan. Like I had the video game. I had all the video games growing up, and just to have that opportunity, I'm just so grateful that I had it.
I'm.
And to do it twice when I thought it was once in a lifetime, I still pinch myself every day. You know, so I lived the dream. I lived my childhood dream, so I couldn't ask for anything better.
Well, I'm not shocked you're a fan favorite, and you won in total over $39,000, which is
Yeah.
any plans with that money?
I mean, I went to a Beyonce concert in July.
So you
So
got
well,
the
I got
tickets.
I got the cheapest seats I could find. I wasn't spending all that money for one night, but I'm looking maybe I'm gonna save as much as I can. I'm in college, so I'm in college, so I need all the money I can get. Cash is king, and also I'm actually turning 21 next May, so I'm thinking maybe like a little birthday trip. So save some money for that, and just whatever big opportunity happens, I'll use it.
I want to know, what was it
Yeah.
like leaving for college, and you got the application that said, "Oh, we're looking for college kids on Wheel of Fortune." What was that like?
So actually, when I applied season 39, and they were airing College Week at the time. And because obviously I'm an avid wheel watcher, and I noticed patterns, and I noticed College Week is a popular week that they do. I was like, oh, you know what? I'll just do the next College Week, or worst case scenario, I can just do a regular show because actually an alternate from my College Week, she did a regular show, and the funny thing was she taped I think the week after I did, but got shown before I did. And so I was like, okay. And then I did the application, and I got invited to the Zoom 3 weeks later. And I said, where I was about to be going to school. And the contestant coordinator, I don't know if I should say her name, but she had no clue where Fisk was. She had no clue. And I was like, okay, these people, I'm like, and my mom was like, so how did you think you went? I said, I mean, actually, I did really well in the audition. I actually only I missed one puzzle on my test, which I think they said is the highest score they've seen in a long time. But I didn't think I was gonna get picked because it's like if they don't know where my school is, we're gonna have some issues if I go on college week. Because if you don't know where my school is, if Pat don't know where my school is, we're all gonna be looking at each other confused. And obviously, at the end of the audition, the coordinator says, "Okay, we're done seeing you. If you get picked, you're gonna get an email within 2 to 3 weeks." And I was like, "Yeah, they're not gonna pick me." And at the time, so actually, I was actually working at an elementary school. I was an after school aide, and I had an early shift that day. So like the day that I got the acceptance email, actually it was an early shift, and it was like 8 minutes into my shift. And obviously I can't have my phone at work because I'm watching kids the whole time. And literally when I got home, the first I was trying to open Instagram, but I accidentally opened my email. But I'm kind of glad I did open my email because the first thing it literally said in capital letters was, "You've been selected to be a contestant on Wheel of Fortune." And I was like, wait, does this say what I think it says? And I went berserk. I called all my family. I called all my friends. I said, I will be on Wheel of Fortune. Like I told everybody. I was like, I couldn't believe it. It was just a dream come true. Like I was just like, wow, man. I couldn't believe it. I mean, sadly, it took a little while to get my date, but I mean, it was kind of worth the wait. So, I didn't think, so I did. So when I did college work, I filmed it in August of 2022. But I was kind of shocked when we filmed it because they normally do it later. So that's why I was like, I called the producer. I said, "Why am I?" was like, "Oh, because I thought they made a mistake. So I was like, oh, you guys are doing college week? Yeah, yeah. So can you come?" And I was like, well, I mean, sure. Look, all I knew was whenever they wanted me to come, I was gonna be there, even if it was a regular show the first time. Because I think at first I wanted to do like one of the Secret Santa shows, just because I knew when they filmed it, I didn't want to go like too late in the season. I don't want to go like the last week of the season because that's usually when college week is filmed. For those who don't know, and so I went. So I went in August 26th. So I flew out to LA, and I was very nervous, despite how well I did. I was very nervous. I was not confident, just because it's like, I think, as you remember, like when you're there, it's like not the same feeling. You're not
Yeah.
at home. Honestly, you're a whiz. Like you can get all the words. At home, and even like the bonus round, like even like crazy puzzles, I always solve them at home. It's like the person can have like no help after the RCLNE is called, and I can still solve it. So when it was my turn to play, and the funny thing was about the college league bonus rounds was I solved everybody else's but mine. So that was kind of funny. And even my grandmother, she was shocked that I didn't get mine, just because I always solve it at home. And then, 6 months later, I got invited to fan favorites, and I thought fan favorites would have been my redemption. uh, yeah, let me tell you what happened. So we were doing the prize puzzle round, right? And I bought all the vowels because as they tell you, vowels will help you fill in the puzzle. So I bought all the vowels, and I actually had 3/4 of the puzzle except the first word. So I was like, okay, all I need to do is just get that first word, and it's money, because usually whoever wins the prize puzzle, they go to bonus round.
Yeah.
Usually, or
Well,
they go to bonus round, or if you win like the trip space like you did, they go to bonus round too, just because like that's where a lot of the money is in the main game. So then I spun again, and I hit the loser turn, but I still wanted to keep good vibes. I was like, you know what? Look, I'm not gonna stress. You know what? Good. I've seen the show billions of times. I know good things happen late, so I'm like, I'm gonna keep a good vibe. And then my opponent, Dr. Rika, hit the express, and it was game over. And the worst part was about that experience. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Rika. She became like my best friend after the show. I love her if she's watching this, but I love her. I'm not bitter about it, but like the worst part was about that experience was after I hit the loop, like right when Rika hit the express, I figured out the first word.
it was game over.
Yeah, it was game over. I was just like, man, because But I mean, and it's funny because I look back at it honestly, and plus what Pat says multiple times over this, like when you're focused on that one word, sometimes it throws you off, and sometimes it doesn't get back to you till it's too late. But it was still a good experience, honestly. Just to do it twice, even though I know I didn't get the outcome I wanted, but just to do it twice, I always thought it was once in a lifetime. I thought I just went to college week and went home. That's what I thought. I never would have pictured I would do it twice, and especially, actually, funny thing is about the opponents that I played with. So my professor was on season 39, and she actually encouraged me to apply. And I knew Rika right away because when Rika was on her original show, she taped the show before my professor was on, so they kind of knew each other. So that's how I actually knew her. So that's how I kind of knew her. And also I got to play against Jesse Redpen, which was one of my favorites as well. And just to see other iconic wheel players, I was just like, man, I remember like watching these people, like kill their show or like whatever they did on the show to bring them back. And it's just like, man, the fact that I got to be in that space, I'm gonna be always grateful for it. And honestly, in a way, even though I didn't get that my one-off fan favorites, honestly, I'm kind of glad Rika won because if you look at her first show, she did bad. She spun bankrupt, lose a turn, you name it. It was just not her game. So the fact that, sadly, due to me, she kind of won. It was still honestly, I think, a good thing to be a part of that. Like, I'm like, I think she got what she deserves. So if because she always says she really wanted her vengeance. She like really hated how her game played because she always knew the puzzles, but she never got a chance to play. So the fact that she got her redemption, I got to be part of it. Honestly, I'm just super grateful, and I'm grateful that she still me and her, we're still friends. I still keep in touch with her. So, and she was just a great opponent. I'm just grateful that playing against adults. I mean, if you do go, just a little heads up, playing against adults is not as easy as you think. Yeah, just a little heads up because I think they're gonna call you for fan favorites. I think they're gonna call you.
They better.
Because I'm surprised they didn't call you, dude. You blew up on the internet. You were all over YouTube. You were like all over. I was just like, man, this kid is. I was like, I always tell people, I said like you're like a mini me, because and also like our names are similar. So I was like, this kid's like a mini me. For some reason. And funny thing is, I don't know if you talked to Christian Dixie before. So when his episode aired, I was a junior in high school, and I mentioned my great aunt before. So I'm not even hesitating. She called my grandmother, and I don't know. So my grandmother did come to the bonus round with me for college week, and she called her and she said, "Gloria, Kellen's on Wheel of Fortune." And she said, What you talking about? Kellen ain't on no Wheel of Fortune. What you talking about? There's this boy on the college week. He looked just like him. Really? And then we watched him, and like, not even kidding you, like Christian was actually like was my kind of biggest cheerleader because he helped me throughout the application process. Even like, I actually tried out another time though before and I didn't make it, but he still pushed me to keep trying until they called me. So, he was like my biggest cheerleader. And also to meet him at Fan Favorites was like, wow, I got to meet him because like he was, he's a master. So, I even watched his episode a lot to just practice like how to play, how to be confident, when you're there, just because it's like, I kind of expected to do bad. I kind of expected to do bad. I was like this, and even like when so like when the fourth show was because obviously they do all the shows that day, so they did 6 for college week, and like the fourth show, I think they're about to do the bonus round, so they said show five. I was like, oh great. So it was like our turn to do our show, and I was like thinking to myself in the makeup chair, I was like, this is going to end very bad very quickly. Cause and I guess like when I was there, like the biggest tip like Christian really gave me was like pretend like you were playing like the video game at home, like the iPad game or the computer game, like well, like the video game at home, like that really helped me because like you just like just tune out the audience, like literally just pretend you're playing the game. And even like after I saw that first, like when I saw the first puzzle, I was like, oh, this is a piece of cake. I mean I can do it, and I guess kind of like with your show, like I think what I kind of got lucky with was the guy next to me. As you remember, he wasn't very good. I don't know why they picked him because I was like, man, this guy is bad. And the funny thing was, I kind of knew he wasn't gonna be good because he wasn't really like a big fan of the show. He didn't really watch the show as much. I guess kind of like Race on your show, he
Yeah.
like just didn't watch the show or like know what was going on. So and even like when they were like doing our positions, so I thought I was gonna get the yellow position like secured because actually everybody before me that I knew who was on the show, well, I think blue was but the best because they didn't do very well when they were on. But so everyone that I knew on wheel before me, they're all in yellow. So like my mom's friend's sister was on 2020 for Secret Santa. She was in yellow. My mom's sorority sister was in yellow. She was on 2022. My professor, as we talked about earlier, she was on 2021. She was in yellow. So I thought I would have continued the trend. And obviously, they drew me for blue. And I was like, I think I was more excited to be in blue, especially for my school, because blue is one of our main colors. We always say we bleed blue. So I think they were more excited to see me in that position and like actually like do well. So and the funny thing was like when we were about to play, like the guy next to me, he was like, "Can you like go easy on me?" And I was like, "Look, you need to go easy on me because I'm kind of nervous, cause like just like the whole thing, even like when we were about to start, like as you remember, like seeing Pat and Vanna walk out, you're like, oh, this is real. Like this ain't like playtime's over. Like this is business. And but even like I told myself like at the hotel, like I was like, what, honestly, even if I don't get the outcome I want, I mean, the wheel's gonna do what the wheel's gonna do, as we both know.
Yeah.
But I was like, like I waited for this moment like my whole life. I'm just gonna go there and just have fun. I'm just gonna go there, have fun. I'm gonna do my best, whatever the outcome is, even if it was like just $1,000 minimum. I would have been fine with that. But
It ain't
you
nothing.
know, yeah, and even for college week, like so, like after I won, I won the prize post my first show. I kind of thought it was secured. I was going to the bonus round. I feel like, oh my god, I'm probably gonna go to the bonus round. And as well, the season before we were on, like Pat stopped doing the final spin, so the player, like whoever's going to control the wheel, they will do it. So my opponent Mia, she hit the 5,000, and I was like, oh, I mean, excuse my language, but I was like, my dad was like, oh shoot, because like my total was I think 16,000 at the
It was.
time when she hit it. And I was like thinking, and because Christian even texted me like, I'm surprised you weren't like jumping around when she hit it. I was like, what do you mean jumping around? Like, if somebody get 3 letters, it's game over. So I was like, okay, you know what? Look, let's see how this plays out. And I'm very blessed it played out in my favor, just because I kind of got lucky with the puzzle too, because there wasn't a lot of multiples, which I think I'm glad about. Because like I've seen like where the 5,000 was hit, and it was like, yeah, that's not a good answer. That's not that. I mean, that could be a big payoff for somebody else, but like if you think you're gonna be going to bonus lane, you better crack down. So like when the 5,000 was hit, like I was like, oh boy. And then and then it was like my turn. So like I called the S. And so I was like, okay, so category is occupation. So I was like, okay, I knew it was software. So I guess software engineer first, just because they usually have that puzzle. And then Pat said, no, still time. I was like, oh, great. I was like, software. And then by the grace of God, developer popped in the last minute before the buzzer hit. And then, he said, I got it right. And the audience went crazy. And I was just like, I didn't know what was going on. I was like, I was even shocked I won. I was like, and Pat hugged me. I was like, it was just that feeling like I needed some water afterwards because I was just like, oh my goodness, that felt like a lot of work because it was just like that feeling, especially when you watch the show for such a long time and you accomplish that feeling like, wow, like even though we didn't get our bonus rounds, the fact we made it to the bonus round was just like, oh my god, like this going better than I thought. Yeah, and even just to make it to even though I didn't get it, just to make it, I was just and eat like I got to share with my mom and my grandma because my grandma, she is my whale watching buddy. Like well, yeah, you can't call it between 7:30. You can't call her because she watching it, and we watched. I guess like with you, like we watched it like growing up, and I bet when I was 2 years old, she dreamed, she's like, Lord, I want this boy to get on the show. Like, I'm going to hurry up and get grown so he can get on.
God
But,
is good.
Yeah, God is good. That's the thing. Because even like just to go back the second time, it's just like, man, yeah, it's just like, man, just to go back like the second time, even, because like I know, even though I didn't make it to the bonus round that time, like I know she was still proud just to see me go back because it's like, unless there was like a blunder or something that went wrong on the first show, then they'll invite you back, but they've never made like an all-star week. So the fact that I got to be like one of the first to go back is just like, wow. It's like out of 40 years of people, they picked me. And I didn't, and it's funny because I didn't think too much about it because it's like I knew I blew up, but like not in the way you did. Cause like you were on like Fox News, you were like and you even did like a FaceTime with Pat afterwards. They just, I just went home afterwards and thought it was over. And thought it was over, but yeah, it was just a great experience. I'm very thankful that I did pursue it just because like for a while I didn't think I was going to pursue it because I told people, I said, look, they're probably not going to pick me because they see like 40 million people a year because like everyone wants to get on the show and try out. So I'm like, they're probably not going to pick me. I'm like, I assume Pat and Van are going to be in wheelchairs by the time I got picked. So I was like, look, Pat and Van, they're gonna be in like a wheelchair by the time they pick me. So I'm like, they're gonna. So I'm like very thankful that it did happen. But honestly, I mean, that's like those two answers that that could have been a big pal. They always still stick with me. But I always keep the positives in mind, just because it's like there are people that like just won like $1,000 and never got called back, or they didn't win, they didn't do well, and they never got called back. So I mean, the fact that, and even like I was actually the only person from my week the first time that got called back, so I was like, wow, like I stood out than the other students, and it was kind of like, wow, like they really, I didn't even think I stood out. I mean, I knew I stood out, but I was like, I thought it was just gonna be like that once in a lifetime moment. Like they don't, because like I know they don't want to bring people back. They always say like you can't, if you've been on the show, you can't come back, and all that stuff. So I was like, well, look, I'll take what I have. It was a good experience, and go home. But and the funny thing was about like the fan favorites call. I thought it was a scam.
Oh.
I thought it was a scam, so I was just like, wait, hold on. I was like, when she said she was from like Wheel of Fortune, I was like, is everything okay? And she said, yeah. I just had a quick question to ask. She was like, okay, what is it? Yeah, so the show, they threw this wild idea out about making a new week called Fan Favorites, and you make the list. I was like, Heifer, if you don't get up off this phone, I don't know, fan favorites. I was like, I ain't no fan favorite. Yo, First of all, you guys ain't want people to come back. You say we can't come back. Why would you want to make this week? And then I think because I was like I think I texted Christian said like, yo, they called me about coming back about this fan favors. I don't think it's gonna happen. And then they ended up calling him, and I was like, wait, let me call this woman. And then I was like, wait, let me call this woman back. Let me call her back. I was like, man, oh, I'm sorry. Like I'm interested. I'm interested. I thought you were playing tricks on me or something because we both know like they don't really like people coming back. It's not. I tell people like, look, it's not Jeopardy because if it was like Jeopardy, I never would go home because I never would have went home. I probably still be playing now if it was like Jeopardy. But I actually thought fan favorites was a scam just because it's like that doesn't sound like something Wheel of Fortune would do. I don't know, like, because I watched it for such a long time. Like, I know their patterns of what they do. Like, and obviously that was the fact that I got to be like on the first like week that they made like that. I'm just like, wow. And I'm happy that like my school, they're still proud that I represented to the best of my abilities. So but honestly, I look back and I'm just like, like 2-year-old me never would have thought that was possible. Because I guess like as you, I kind of like you probably just fell in love when you first watched it, like kind of like me. So I was like, I'm a little older than you, but like I had like the VHS on a VHS, and I would watch it till it burned out. So that's how much I guess I liked it. And even after I did college, like, I told like some of my friends, I was like, why was I obsessed with the show for that long? Like, why was like, because like obviously after you do it, it goes by so fast. I was like, why was I obsessed with it for so long? like, like that's what I asked myself. Like, why was I so obsessed with it for so long? But in a way, I'm kind of glad. Like it was really shocking how it turns to reality, and the fact that it turns like a twice in a lifetime experience. And honestly, in the fact that I still talk to alums, I make alum friends every day. So it's like a really awesome. I didn't even know like the alum community even existed. So like the fact that I get to meet alums every day. There was a woman. Actually, she came to the fan favorites taping, so she was on season 1, episode 3, and she sat behind my grandmother, and her sister was actually on the show back in 1979 with Chuck Woolery. And obviously, the new season just started, and they're talking about some of their like favorite players. And she said, like her favorite was the fan favorite that was the college student. And I was just like, wow, like I was like, I didn't even know that even my episode meant that much to people. And even like I think it's still on the website, but on their website they post like this new, like the promo for like the new season, and they posted like my college week, a bit of my college week episode. So I'm just like, wow, like it meant it was that big, to everyone. I didn't even, I just thought I was playing the game. I just thought I was playing the game. I didn't even think it would have turned into something like that, because it's just like, wow, it became something bigger than I imagined. So I'm very thankful that it did turn into something bigger than I imagined. Just because look, I'm just gonna do about that. Look, I told people, I said, look, I'm gonna do the little college week and go home. They never don't talk to me ever again. I'm gonna do my thing. Just go to school, do what I need to do. But I mean, the fact that I'm like, in that like elite, like one of those like elite 15 people that got a second, show, another turn at the wheel, I'm just like, wow. Like, and even just going back to the studio a second time, it was kind of like the feels how I got it the first time.
Yeah.
But also it was kind of like relaxed because it's like, oh, I know what to do. I've been here before. By the grace of God, I won the first time. That would have been nice to kind of repeat it the second time, But I mean, I'm still very thankful. I still won more money. I'm very thankful I got to win more money. So I mean, hey, money's money. So look, any money's good, as we both know. But Honestly, I think just to experience it the second time, I'm just like, I always tell people it's like, I always tell people like even like that want to apply on the show now because I even get message inquiries about applying for the show, and it's like I always tell people the funny thing was like honestly learning like the biggest lesson I learned even after fan favorites was honestly I always got to do my best performance just because I never know who's watching. I had no clue that they even thought of me for fan favorites because like I know there's plenty of other like I mean you were like I said like I consider you a fan favorite. I mean hopefully one day that we can make that a reality. Hopefully, but
Ryan Seacrest will no. Pat Sajak, yes.
that's it. Yeah, yes, okay, yeah. I mean that's what I'm hoping because I was kind of shocked we weren't there because like and well, I feel like you and Ross should be fan favorites because like you guys blew up the internet. Like
Roswell
you
is
got
Roswell. Roswell is one of my dearest friends. He's a great guy.
yeah, because I'm like you guys got like 1 million views on TikTok. Like that was you got like I mean they posted me on TikTok, but I didn't think nobody really liked me that much, because I didn't blow up. I mean I knew I blew up, but like you know not like the way you guys said it. And even like I think like a couple weeks after it aired, my in the alum group, my professor posted a picture of me saying how proud she was of me, and like I look back and even like all the alums that said how terrific I was just like, wow, I didn't even think it meant that much to people. I thought I was just I thought I was just playing the game. That's what I thought I was doing. I was like, just playing the game, and I still had a buttload of fun, and honestly, by the way, I need to address something on here on why I didn't spend on college week. I meant to do it on fan favorites, but we didn't have no time in my intro, so I need to do it here because I still like like those recap websites. Oh my
Definitely.
god,
Yeah.
they are they're very brutal when they describe my first show. They are very brutal when they describe my first show. So actually, this is what happened. I was kind of like Rika on my first show. I kept spitting bankrupt. Like my first show, my group, we had the worst luck. We were either hitting bankrupt or calling the wrong button. I don't know what was going on.
We're gonna
And so
we're gonna
actually,
throw a montage in of that. I'm gonna edit that.
okay, yeah. So in the let me put my router saying wrong. We'll edit this too. So the funny thing is, I told people actually the like when we actually filmed it, like as you know, like some of the game is edited out. So I spun again. I think the mystery round. I spun maybe like 2 or 3 times in the mystery round, but I was just hitting bankrupt that round. And that's when I have to say to myself, I'm like, if I keep spinning, I'm not gonna win anything. Because I was having the worst luck. Like after like and in a way, and because like I remember as you saw, I landed on the million like my first spin, and I was like, oh okay, that was a little intimidating to pick it up, but obviously I lost it, my second spin. But it's just like like after I kept spinning for a while, and I was like, if I keep spinning, because I noticed a pattern, I'm like, I'm gonna be one of those people that just spins bankrupt the whole time. I don't want that. So that's when I just figured I'm like, let me just solve it because the guy next to me did all the work anyway. So let me just solve it. If I
And you
know
called
it.
him out. You called him out on it.
Yeah. No, but the funny thing was like during commercial, like after the prize puzzle, so my prize puzzle was life is better than flip flop. So my opponent was doing really good until he thought the first word was love, so he called a V. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, this guy's gonna get the prize puzzle. He's gonna get it.
He's
He's gonna
gonna
get it.
win.
Then he called a V, and I was like V. And then I looked at him like, why did you call a V? I'm like, it's why would any of the answers have the word love in it? This is not Sweethearts Week. This is College Week. And honestly, but it was so funny. But I did need to address why I didn't spin. on college week.
And I
So
think
no,
that was the best
because
option.
I got so many like messages, and even like my mom's like sorority, they were all like, "Why'd you spend and get some money?" And I was like, "Oh my goodness," I'm like, I bet if they showed what really happened, everybody would leave me alone, and they'd be like, "Okay, yeah, you need to leave," because I know in the back of my mind, I'm like, if I touch this wheel one more time, my grandmother's gonna come out the audience and lay hands on me. I'm like, I'm gonna get hurt if I touch this wheel one more time. And the funny thing was about the bonus round was, okay, this is so funny. So like, even like I know I didn't get it, my grandma was like not too disappointed because if I lost 100,000, my grandma would have laid hands on me more. I probably would have had to take. I would have to take an Uber back to the hotel. Like I couldn't ride back with her because she would have hurt me. Like she would have been mad. So in a way, but in a way, like I still have to remind people, it's like no, I did spend more on college week. It's just they just edited parts of the game out because I guess they don't. I guess people don't want to see me hit bankrupt the whole time. So, in a way, I kind of do thank them for editing out because it's like that would have been a rough watch party. Be like, man, Kellen not landing on no dollar amounts. What's going on? Because that's what I was saying. I was like, man, I'm not landing on no dollar amounts. What's going on? And then thankfully, fan favorites. Sadly, I mean, until that loser turn, I actually did. I only hit like that one loser turn, but I had much better luck with the wheel. And also, I think mostly because I had thankfully my other opponents we were all the same height, so we all were raised the same height. Thankfully, so I was able to actually like fully reach down because I had a hard time during college week. I was like on my like if you could see like on my first show, like I was like on my tippy toes when I did try to spin the wheel. So I was like, yeah, it was kind of awkward trying trying to reach down, but honestly, I would say like I did go more aggressive with fan favorites only because like I had better luck with the wheel, which I'm like grateful for. Sadly, that bad spin did cost me. Sometimes I wish I'm like, why can't I just hit that was turn like the first round or something? I was like, look, couldn't that just been like my first spin? Couldn't it been like my first spin? But I mean, I see why Merv Griffin calls it Wheel of Fortune now. Playing
Yeah.
it twice, I see why he calls it Wheel of Fortune.
And
So
it's a lot of. I think the
I
show,
think
it's
I think it's a
amazing,
lot of fun.
and it can
It
definitely change lives. And
yeah it did.
you went from to all the way up to the top, and I was gonna
Yeah.
scream my butt off if I lost the 100,000. I was about to say, no, I'm getting
Yeah, no,
top.
I told Pat, I said that better be two rusty nickels in that card. Because I mean, regardless of looking at that card when you didn't win it, it's just scary. So I
Yeah.
was like, no, it's actually funny because I'll send this to you later, but like on Twitter, I actually have like a quote. It says better not be 100,000. So because I literally told Pat, I said that better not be 100,000. And then when he said it's not, I was like, oh, thank you. Like I don't know, like my heart, like it dropped, but it was like it dropped like out of like goodness because it was like, whoo, like it was like a sigh of relief because I would have been mad, especially because like in my bonus round, I filled in.
It's Kaden. You just saw our interview with Kellen Franklin. That interview unfortunately collapsed, which is very disappointing. We still have a lot more to talk about. I want to thank Kellen post interview. So we're gonna start doing this every month now. It's official. We're doing it every month. We skipped October. We did November. December. Who knows what we're gonna have on the show? Somebody very Wheel of Fortune important though. Y'all just have to find out. And always make today a great day. And I will see you next time. Bye.